Yeah. This is what some people would like to call a karaoke microphone. So, I want to explain to you guys what's going on with my microphone situation, okay? Because this is stupid. I just bought a lavalier at Best Buy. Look at this design, okay? Look at this. I thought that there was going to be an iPhone adapter connected to the thing that would plug into the camera, but no. For some reason, they made the adapter the camera plug-in. And this is what you connect it to, and this is the microphone. So, you can't use it on a camera, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So now I'm using a karaoke microphone from something my sister got maybe 3-4 years ago. Probably longer than that. I don't remember. But what I watched in June is gonna come out whether it kills me or not. So yeah, this is what I watched in June. Hope the quality isn't really bad. I really don't feel like testing it right now, so yeah, let's just get started with this video. I started off the month with Project X. This is a party movie, and if you haven't seen it, it's pretty funny. However, this movie has taught me one very valuable lesson in life. Never ever host a party. Always go to the party. Never host. Always attend, though. The characters here are hilarious. It's just a fun movie. It's a good party or sleepover movie. If you and your friends are just hanging out and you're thinking about a movie to watch, go watch Project X. It's a really good one. I then rewatched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I've said for a long time that this movie was very overrated. I watched it in preparation for Across the Spider-Verse, which unfortunately I wasn't able to see. But, yeah, I've always said that this movie was overrated. And, like, a middle 8? Nope. This thing on rewatch was pretty much perfect. I had very little flaws with it, if any. I thought that this thing was incredible. Why am I talking about it? Everybody knows that this movie is phenomenal, so yeah, I'm just going to move on. I then watched Air. This stars Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Viola Davis. Some good people, even though Viola Davis isn't even that big. But yeah, it's basically just the story of how the Air Jordans were created, and it's a really good story. I've seen a lot of people saying that this thing was just kind of good. I thought this was a great movie about this dude who is on the end of his line. Like, dude is about to get fired, he's not really doing well in the business, and everybody kind of thinks he's an a-hole, and he just comes up with this idea, and the way that he goes about it is so interesting, and I really like the story. Great movie. I then rewatched Gone Girl. I said everything I wanted to say in my What I Watched in January video, I think, so just go watch that video if you want. Yeah, I still think that this is phenomenal. I don't think it's Fincher's best, but yeah, great movie. Ben Affleck, great performance. Love this one a lot. I then rewatched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I rewatched a lot of movies this month, so just keep that in mind. I love this movie so much. I think it's one of the best animated movies ever made. The story, the characters, the themes, death, just it's all pretty much perfect in my eyes. I love this thing a lot. I then watched Blue Velvet. This was my introduction to David Lynch. This was my very first David Lynch, and I really liked it. I thought it was great. It's very bizarre. However, we are going to get to another David Lynch, which is even weirder. But yeah, I really like this one. Great performances all around. This movie is weirdly funny at times, but it's also dark and tragic, and I really enjoyed it. The slow pacing, some people might get turned off from, but I honestly really liked the tension that this movie was able to build. I was always constantly wondering what was going to happen next and where it was going to put our main character next. I like this one a lot. I then watched Nightcrawler. This is Jake Gyllenhaal, 2014, and yeah, it might be a little overrated in my eyes. I do really like it. It's definitely a 4-star, but it's definitely a little overrated. The character of Lou is really interesting, and how obsessive people can become, but again, I think there's better movies that can portray that in better ways, of obsessive natures turning you into something of a sociopath, even though something like Whiplash shows obsessive nature, and he doesn't turn into a sociopath. Black Swan, she does kind of turn into a sociopath, so yeah, although kind of, because she kills the girl in the room, but she doesn't kill her. You don't really know. I don't think she killed her, if I remember correctly. But she still had the vision of her killing her, which is pretty sociopathic. So yeah, there's better movies like this out there, but I still really enjoyed it. The ending was really good. Yeah, I mean, great movie, just a little overrated. I then rewatched 2001: A Space Odyssey. Sorry, if you've seen my Kubrick video and what I watched in January, I gave this a 3.5 originally, and as you can see now, it's a 4.5. There's just something so much more, something just drew me in a lot more than the first time I watched it. I mean, it probably was the time that I watched this movie. I watched this the night of a breakup, which was really rough, and so, yeah, I think I was just not in a great mindset to watch this movie, but, you know, months ago, so I'm fine now. But yeah, this movie is great. Just the only parts that I didn't really were interested in was the beginning. I liked the gorillas, but the stuff after that with Haywood or Greenwood, I can't remember his name, his kind of plot, kind of setting up the movie, kind of bored me a little bit. But as soon as you get to Dave and Frank in the ship, it's like pretty much perfection in my eyes. Just a great film. If you were wondering, this only moved up one spot in my Kubrick ranking, though. I only put it above Lolita now, but it's still below everything else. So, sorry. I then watched Phineas and Ferb, the movie across the second dimension. This is technically a rewatch because I did watch this back when I was like 7, but I really didn't remember all the twists and turns that this movie takes, which, dude, this movie's great. It's actually just such a fun time, dude. Like, the characters are all great. Their motives make sense. I do really enjoy the movie. The action's good. It's funny. Great ending. Just great movie. And it's on Disney Plus. I mean, Phineas and Ferb, man. You can't go wrong with Phineas and Ferb. I then rewatched 12 Angry Men. This is my 3rd time watching the movie, and it is still one of the best movies ever made. I'm just gonna read my review on Letterboxd because I think I summed it up real well here. I don't know how you could write a better screenplay than this. Everything is so meticulously thought out and planned to perfection. The single best script of all time. Never would have thought a movie about 12 white dudes arguing would be the most entertaining movie. Such an influential film and a must-watch for all film nerds. Every character has pasts and motives, and they feel so real and have real conversations. Feels like watching a documentary. Peak filmmaking. I literally couldn't have said it better, which is why I read it off of my Letterboxd review. I then watched Eraserhead. Look, man, I know disturbing films and disturbing things is very subjective, and what I'm about to say might confuse a lot of people, seeing as some films I've watched in the past, mainly Serbian film, but Eraserhead was more disturbing than a Serbian film in my eyes. And look, maybe I'm just sick, but Serbian film was just so bizarrely fake, and I explained this in the month I watched it. I don't even remember. But the film does so much to try to make you disturbed with the most outlandish things that my brain just knows that that's what the film's trying to do. And while, yes, I know David Lynch in Eraserhead is trying to disturb you, it works for me because he doesn't make you disturbed with actual, like, just outlandish things like the baby scene in a Serbian film. For me, the baby scene is stupid in a Serbian film. It didn't really disturb me. Or, okay, it is disturbing, but it didn't, stick with me after the film. I went to bed fine after watching a Serbian film. This film, I had trouble walking around my house in the dark after watching it. This movie just has so many unsettling imagery, the cinematography, the sound design, it's all great stuff here. Even though this movie is technically kind of about nothing, it works for me. Just so many unsettling moments that just, I was cringing the whole time, and not in like a weird, like the way that cringe has been formed in nowadays culture, but I was just cringing, I winced a lot during this movie because I was just unsettled so much. I thought this was such an interesting film that, there's so much that I could talk about, but I gotta wrap this up, so yeah, next movie. Then rewatched Dear Zachary. Good lord, this is the saddest thing that you'll ever watch in your life. I rewatched it with my sister, and I didn't know if they were gonna cry. My sister absolutely bawled, cries out, wouldn't stop crying. The last 45 minutes, she didn't stop crying. It was just all tears. Which, yeah, the emotions really packed harder for me this time. I wouldn't say I cried. I teared up many times, and I probably should have cried, but I wiped away my teary eyes before any drops fell. I didn't drop any teardrops, so I didn't cry, but I came really close. This movie is absolutely devastating. It's dark. it makes you so angry, and you're just overcome. Your body just fills with anger. But it is a phenomenal movie that I think everyone needs to watch at some point in their lives. Then watch Jennifer's Body. This movie was awful. I'm sorry. It's too campy for me. It's just too cheesy. And I love cheesy films. But good lord, this one, the dialogue was so... It felt so 2009. If there was a movie that I could put in a 2009 category, it would be this movie. This movie feels like 2009. I can't really explain it other than that. I'm going to be spoiling the thing real quick just because I need to make note of it. So skip like 10-20 seconds if you don't want to hear a spoiler. Dude, Chip's death was the saddest moment in all of cinema. Chip was the only good part about this movie. And Jennifer killed it. One thing I will say that I really liked about this film was the score. I thought the score was really good. But that's it. I mean, the actors and actresses did fine. It's just the script, the story. It's just not for me. I then watched Pleasure. I'm not going to get into this movie, just because I know my parents are going to watch this. So I won't even go into what's it about. All I'll say is that I try to watch films by myself that I wouldn't want to watch with my parents. And I had seen some good things about this movie, and I was like, okay, that seems like a movie I probably wouldn't want to watch with my parents. So I'm going to watch it by myself. And I did. Oh my god. From a filmmaking standpoint, I honestly think this is a perfect film. The cinematography is flawless in this movie. So many scenes that the camera is used to perfection to really enhance you, but also disgust you in the movie. If you read my review on Letterboxd, there's literally a scene that I had to pause the movie and I spun around in my chair and I had to take a breath because it's so intense and it's so disturbing and it's great just because it's made to perfection. The acting in this movie is incredible. I just didn't enjoy parts like the disturbing scene. I didn't enjoy watching it. I know you're not supposed to. Obviously, you're not going to watch this super intense, disturbing, disgusting scene and be like, yeah, this is good. Like, I'm enjoying this. You're not going to watch it. You're not going to say that. But some people enjoy it in a different way where they recognize that the film is trying to make you feel a certain way and it makes the movie better for them. For me, this just type of scene is just too intense not too intense for me. I mean, I got through it fine. But it didn't make me like the film more. I respect it a lot, but I didn't enjoy it more than I feel like I should have. So, yeah, but genuinely, this is a great film. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And yeah, great film that has a lot to say about it. I then watched Brokeback Mountain. This thing was slow. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people love this film, but it was just slow. It just wasn't for me at times. I do like the chemistry between Jake and Heath. R.I.P. Heath, I love you. Heath Ledger is the GOAT, and he always will be. But this movie just took so long to get to some points, and the ending is really good, though. The ending is great. Super sad, super good. I feel bad for Michelle Williams' character. I feel bad for also Anne Hathaway's character. But I do really like this film. I don't really like it. It's a good film. It's good. It has things that derail me throughout the movie, but it's fine. And I finished the month with My Neighbor Totoro.
Alright, Editor Brady here. It's pronounced Totoro, not Totoro. I'm an idiot. Sorry for being stupid, but yeah, I say Totoro in this whole section, so just pretend like I'm saying Totoro.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I watched it in the Japanese audio. This movie is great. I wouldn't say it's Spirited Away, or I wouldn't even say it's a 5-star, or even a 4.5. It's good. It's really good. This movie makes you feel like a kid watching this magical experience unfold. This movie makes me feel like a kid more than any other movie I've ever watched, and that's why I love it so much. It's just such a magical experience. There's so many great animations, like, in this movie, so many great scenes that just encapsulates what it's like to be a kid watching an animated magical experience, and it's great. I like the characters. I do wish Totoro was in it a little bit more. He's in it maybe 15 minutes total in the movie. I need to watch more Ghibli's though, because this one was really good. I did not like Howl's Moving Castle. In fact, I think I might lower it to a 3-star from my last month. But Spirited Away and this one was really good. So I'll give you that. And that's what I watched in June. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Sorry if the quality of the audio isn't great. I wanted a microphone. Unfortunately, that didn't go so well. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.